Stop everything you're doing right now because what I'm about to reveal will fundamentally change how you think about money forever. There's a number, a specific threshold, that separates those who struggle paycheck to paycheck from those who begin building real generational wealth, and that number is exactly $20,000. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another generic finance video, let me ask you something. Why do some people seem to effortlessly grow their wealth while you're working just as hard, maybe even harder, yet your bank account looks like it's stuck in quicksand? The answer isn't about making more money. It's about reaching this critical mass, this financial tipping point that 92% of Americans never achieve. And today I'm going to show you exactly why this number is the invisible line between financial mediocrity and true wealth accumulation. But here's the kicker, and this is going to shock you. Most financial advisors will never tell you about this threshold because they're too busy selling you courses and credit cards. The $20,000 mark isn't arbitrary. It's backed by behavioral economics, compound interest mathematics, and decades of wealth building data that Wall Street doesn't want you to understand because an informed population is a powerful population. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a cliff, and on the other side is everything you've ever wanted: financial freedom, the ability to quit that soul-crushing job, vacations without checking your bank account first, and the power to say no to things that don't serve you. That cliff? It's exactly $20,000 wide. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can barely save $200. How am I supposed to save $20,000? And that's precisely the mindset that keeps you trapped. But don't worry, we're going to shatter that limiting belief in the next few minutes. Let me tell you about Marcus, a 28-year-old marketing coordinator making $55,000 a year in Dallas. Marcus was living the typical American dream. Nice apartment, streaming subscriptions, weekend brunches, and a car payment that made him wince every month. He had about $3,500 in savings and thought he was doing okay. Then something happened that changed everything. His company offered an emergency sabbatical program. But there was a catch. You needed proof of 6 months of expenses saved up. Marcus missed out, and worse, his colleague Jennifer took it, traveled to Southeast Asia for 3 months, came back refreshed, and got promoted within 6 weeks. That moment destroyed Marcus, not because Jennifer succeeded, but because he realized he was operating in a completely different financial reality. Here's where it gets interesting, and pay close attention, because this is where most people's brains short circuit. The difference between having $5,000 saved and $20,000 saved isn't just the $15,000 gap. It's the complete psychological, emotional, and strategic transformation that occurs once you cross that threshold. When you have less than $10,000 saved, you're still in survival mode. Every unexpected car repair, every medical bill, every job disruption sends you into panic mode, activating your stress response and forcing short-term decisions that keep you poor. But something magical happens at 20,000. Your brain literally rewires itself from scarcity thinking to abundance thinking. You stop making fear-based decisions and start making strategic ones. You can negotiate better because you're not desperate. You can invest in opportunities that poor people can't access. And here's the part that'll blow your mind. You actually start making money faster because money attracts money. Let me drop a truth bomb that's going to make you uncomfortable. The American financial system is designed to keep you below this threshold. Credit card companies, payday lenders, subscription services, planned obsolescence in products, all of these exist to extract those extra dollars that would push you over the edge into financial independence. Think about it. Why does your bank pay you 0.01% interest on savings, but charges you 19% on credit cards? Because they profit from your financial fragility. The moment you hit 20,000 in liquid savings, you become dangerous to their business model because you stop being a profit center and start being a competitor. Now let's talk about the science behind this number. And this is where it gets really exciting. Researchers at Princeton University discovered that financial stress impacts cognitive function equivalent to losing 13 IQ points. That's the difference between average intelligence and borderline impairment. When you're constantly worried about money, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning and decision making, is hijacked by your amygdala, screaming about survival threats. But here's the beautiful part. Once you reach that $20,000 safety net, your cortisol levels drop, your sleep improves, your decision making sharpens, and you literally become smarter about money. It's not motivation you're lacking, it's the neurological foundation for good decisions. Remember Marcus? Here's what he did that changed everything. And I want you to really absorb this because it's counterintuitive. Instead of trying to cut every expense and live like a monk, which never works long term because deprivation creates rebound spending, he focused on three specific levers: increasing income by 15% through side projects, automating savings so he never saw the money, and eliminating exactly three major expenses that provided zero real value. In 18 months, Marcus hit 23,000 in savings. But here's what nobody tells you about what happened next, and this is crucial. The moment he crossed 20,000, opportunities started appearing that were invisible before. A friend needed a business partner with capital. Marcus invested 8,000 and made 22,000 back in 9 months. His landlord offered to sell the condo at a discount, but needed a quick close. Marcus had the down payment ready while others scrambled. He negotiated a job offer 15,000 higher because he wasn't desperate and could walk away. See, wealth isn't just about having money. It's about having options, and options require capital. Now, I'm going to say something that might make you angry, but you need to hear it. If you're over 25 and don't have 20,000 saved, you're not unlucky. You're making specific choices every single day that guarantee you'll stay poor. Ouch, right? But here's the empowering part. If your choices created your current situation, different choices create a different situation, which means you have complete control. That daily coffee, over a year at $5 a day, that's $1,825. That car payment on a vehicle to impress people you don't even like, that's probably $400 to $600 a month or $7,200 annually. The subscription services you forgot you have? Average American wastes $237 monthly on unused subscriptions. That's $2,800 a year. We're already at 13,000 in found money, and we haven't even talked about the big stuff yet. What about that apartment that's 30% more than you need because of location? What about eating out 12 times a week when meal prep exists? I'm not saying live like a hermit. I'm saying every dollar you spend is a vote for the life you're creating. And right now, you're voting for broke. Here comes the plot twist. And this is where everything we've talked about comes together in a way that'll make you want to start tonight. The $20,000 threshold isn't actually about the money sitting in your account. It's about crossing the invisible barrier between two different economic classes in America. Below 20,000 saved, you're in the consumption class. People who work to spend, living transaction to transaction, enslaved by the next paycheck. Above 20,000, you enter the investment class, people who make money work for them, who see dollars as soldiers that can go out and recruit more dollars. This isn't about being rich, it's about achieving what I call financial optionality, the power to make choices based on what's best for you rather than what's necessary for survival. And here's the urgency piece that should light a fire under you right now. Every single day you delay crossing this threshold costs you compounding time you can never get back. If you're 25 and you save 20,000 by 27, then invest it at an average 8% return. By the time you're 65, you'll have over 430,000 from just that initial 20,000. But if you wait until you're 35 to save that same amount, you'll only have about 200,000. That 10-year delay literally costs you $230,000. Time is the secret ingredient that makes small amounts of money become life-changing amounts. But you have to start before you feel ready, before it's convenient, before you have it all figured out. Let me share something personal that I rarely talk about. 5 years ago, I was exactly where many of you are right now. Smart enough to know I should be saving, but convinced I'd start when I made more money. Then my father had a stroke, couldn't work for 8 months, and nearly lost everything because he never built that buffer. Watching a proud man in his 60s stress about paying for medication while recovering from a major medical event shattered something in me. I realized that financial security isn't selfish. It's one of the most loving things you can create because it prevents you from becoming a burden and allows you to help others. Within 22 months, I hit 25,000 in savings, and I'm not special. I don't have a trust fund or rich parents. I just made different choices and protected those choices like my life depended on it, because it did. So here's your action plan, the exact system that works regardless of your income. And yes, this works even if you're making 40,000 a year. First, open a high-yield savings account that's separate from your checking, somewhere that takes 2 days to transfer money so you can't impulse spend it. Second, calculate your monthly income after taxes and automatically transfer 15% the day you get paid. If 15% feels impossible, start with 5% and increase it 2% every 2 months. Third, identify your 3 biggest wasteful expenses and eliminate them completely. Not reduce, eliminate, because partial measures produce partial results. Fourth, increase your income through side hustles, freelancing, or negotiating a raise. And here's the key. Every single dollar of new income goes to savings until you hit 20,000. Fifth, track your net worth monthly because what gets measured gets managed. Watching that number climb creates positive reinforcement that makes saving addictive. And here's the final piece. Tell someone about your goal. Accountability is the difference between intention and transformation. Now, here's where I need to be completely honest with you about something nobody else will say. This is going to be hard, probably the hardest thing you've done financially, because you're fighting against biological programming that wants instant gratification, social pressure that demands you keep up appearances, and an entire economic system designed to keep you spending. You're going to have moments where you want to quit, where your friends are taking trips and you're staying home, where you see something you want but can't have right now. In those moments, remember this. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want right now. And what you want most is freedom. The freedom to breathe without financial anxiety. The freedom to walk away from toxic jobs. The freedom to invest in opportunities. And the freedom to build the life that 92% of people only dream about while staying stuck in the same patterns that keep them broke. The $20,000 threshold isn't a destination, it's a launch pad. Once you're there, you don't stop. You leverage that foundation to build 50,000, then 100,000, then investments that generate passive income that eventually exceeds your expenses. And that's when you've truly won the game. But it all starts with this first critical milestone. And every single day you wait is a day you could have been building momentum. So let me ask you directly, 6 months from now, do you want to be in the exact same financial position, having this same conversation with yourself? Or do you want to be 5, 8, maybe $10,000 closer to complete financial transformation? The choice is yours, and it's a choice you're making right now, whether you realize it or not. Now, if you found this valuable and you're serious about building real wealth, you absolutely need to watch my next video about the power of compounding. Because here's what I haven't told you yet. Once you hit that $20,000 mark, the next phase is making that money multiply automatically while you sleep. And compound interest is the most powerful wealth-building force in human history, but only if you understand exactly how to harness it. In that video, I break down the exact investment strategies that turn 20,000 into multiple 6 figures over time, the accounts you need to open, the mistakes that destroy compound growth, and the timeline that shows you exactly when you'll hit each milestone on your path to financial independence. That video is going to appear on your screen in just a moment, and I promise you, if this video changed how you think about money, the next one will change what you do with it. Click it now because your future self is begging you to take this seriously. And trust me, the person you become on the other side of this journey will thank you for starting today.